Now, how do you find the truth inside of yourself? Well, Abu Sa'd, a 14th century Sufi poet from the Persian Empire, he tells us, take one step away from yourself, and lo, behold the path. What our Sufi poet is telling us is, stand back away from your life so that you can see your path clearly. So when change happens, look for the good, look for the positive. Don't label the change. Stand back 10%, look at the change from a distance. Our change will only happen with conviction, with confidence, and with a firmness in our belief in the truth of ourselves. So here's a little exercise for you to help you facilitate adaptation. Find one or two activities that go against the grain of your personality profile. For example, extrovert, introvert. All right? So if you're an introvert, what would you do? All right? I'd send you to an aerobics class. I'd send you to a public library to read to kids. I'd suggest that you volunteer. Make volunteering a part of your life. Get involved in a group. Do things with other people. This will stimulate change. Do something different. If you're an extrovert, take up yoga, meditation. Maybe build a website for fun. Maybe turn your hobby into a business. Because change will always keep us young, will always keep us smart, and will always keep us productive. Margaret Mead, cultural anthropologist, she wrote, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go and do that. Because what the world needs are people who come alive. What makes you come alive? What is your bliss? What is your passion? Because I'll tell you this. The key to designing an awesome Act 3 is passion. Finding your passion, living your passion, and that is our next tool. Passion smashing, you say. How do you get passion? When I know passion, if it hit me in the face? Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no. But if you feel an outpouring of positive energy, if you have an idea stuck in your head that you can't get out, if you feel blissful about a person, place, or thing, you've got passion. It is then that a common interest is elevated to a passion. It is then that you see your destiny clearly. And that's what happened to me with yoga. And then, in my early 50s, another passion hit me like a bolt of lightning. I saw an Argentine tango show, and I knew what I had to do. As soon as my youngest son got out of high school and went to college, I went to look for a dance studio. And I began to study Argentine tango with a vengeance. And before the year was up, I took myself off to Buenos Aires and danced with hundreds of fat, bald men who taught me how to listen to the music. They said to me, if you don't know the music, you will never feel the dance in every part of your body. What is your music? What makes you happy? What is it that you love to do but you don't do enough of? What did you do as a child that you loved, that maybe you don't even think about today? You haven't thought about it in decades. What comes easy to you that's very difficult for others? If you had to change the world, how would you change it? And what is it that you cannot live without in your life? Because here's the deal. You won't have any fun growing older unless you pursue your passion to the fullest. The final tool for creating an awesome Act 3 is the tool that makes all the others possible. You cannot have an attitude of gratitude without forgiveness. You cannot be vulnerable without forgiveness. You cannot learn to adapt without forgiveness. You cannot find your passion without forgiveness. Forgiveness is the linchpin for all the other tools. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry wrote, "It is only with the heart that one can see clearly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." Steve Jobs forgave the people who fired him at Apple and went back to work. What an amazing act of forgiveness, I think. Do you know anybody that could forgive like that? I don't know if I do. Because if we're all honest, we harbor resentments, we collect injustices, we get angry at insults that are not really that important to us. I meditate, I burn candles, I drink green tea, and I still want to smack somebody who insults me. Forgiving someone is just downright challenging and almost exasperating. Forgiveness is about letting go, surrendering, and then moving forward. And how challenging is that to move forward? Resistance not only clears the mind of negative thinking, but it also helps in resolving crucial issues, in communicating more effectively. It is an amazing tool for us to use. Without forgiveness, there would be no history, no hope. And the human species would annihilate itself in endless retribution. The only way we could begin Act 3 is clean slate. We have to forgive those people who we think hurt us, or otherwise we cannot attend to our own personal growth and transformation. It is only then that our Act 3 will be ahead of us. As we grow older, we learn and transform. Thank goodness. Thank goodness we still grow. In his book, Nicholas Delbanco wrote, this is the book called it's called Lastingness, The Art of Old Age. He explores the idea of growing older with creative endurance and passion. My mother was the quintessential woman to exemplify creative endurance and passion. Retirement was never an option for this woman. In her 70s, she still built houses. And she taught senior aerobics at the Senior Center in Las Vegas. In her 80s, she took up tap dancing with a vengeance and was president of her club during those years. She also designed and made her own clothes her whole life. That was really her passion. And maybe when she hit 90, I don't think she could see on black anymore to sew, so she started to sew on these really vibrant colors. And it was really fun to see that. She took people at face value, and she never held on to the negative, ever. And in her later years, as she ended her life, she showed me how, as she neared her death, she showed me how to die with gratitude, with strength, and with still passion in her soul. She was my hero. So, I've asked you, what is it that you cannot live without in your life? And now I'm going to tell you my answer. I cannot live without an attitude of gratitude because it provides inspiration and positive energy for living. I cannot live without being vulnerable because it creates emotional context and makes my imagination soar. I cannot live without learning to adapt because it encourages growth and change. I cannot live without passion because it reminds us all not to be anyone else other than the person that we are. And I cannot live without finding and forgiving because this reminds us all to live with hope, love, dignity, and grace above all else. So, look at your answers. If they have been consistent, you only have one answer, circle it. That's your Act 3. If you have a number of them, circle the one that has the most emotional connection to you. And if you still need more time, take it. But don't delay too long in deliberation because you may be missing the beginning of the most important act of your life. Welcome to Act 3. Thank you.